stars in my eyes. Gentle morning sky.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spoiler Warning Podcast. This is review number 839 with a review of Disclosure Day. I'm Christopher Schnese.
And I'm Steven Miller.
And if you're joining us for the first time, the Spoiler Warning Podcast is a weekly film review program. Each week on the show, we're going to dive in, debate, discuss, and argue over the latest films coming to a theater near you. This time, we're talking about the latest Steven Spielberg film coming to a theater near you. And Steven Miller, to start us off with this episode, I have a question for you. At the risk of being potentially maybe a little bit spoilery, my question for you is, do you think if there are future episodes of The Rehearsal that they will involve Nathan Fielder trying to get in touch with Steven Spielberg's people to talk about their unlicensed use of the Fielder method in this film?
Perhaps. Yes, I certainly thought about Nathan Fielder a bit, not to spoil this movie, but it goes places that feel incredibly similar to Nathan Fielder's brain. Not a criticism. I'm here for it.
Yeah. It was just like there were scenes earlier where I was like, are they doing? I think they're doing it. So it was definitely an interesting thing waiting for it all to happen. So yeah. I was kind of excited over the course of this film.
Absolutely.
All right. Now that that's out of the way, Steven, I think I've asked you in the past, did you grow up, thinking about things being out there, being an alien believer?
I never gave it much thought, which sounds like a cop-out. Like, I think my gut instinct growing up and also as an adult is to just reject it, right? If someone told me they saw an alien, I'd be like, yeah, sure you did, motherfucker. Like, that's just my knee-jerk reaction is no way. That sounds Looney Tunes.
Steven,
at the same time,
those are two different questions. Believing somebody thought they saw an alien and believing aliens are real are two completely wildly different things.
No, I'm getting to that. I'm doing a long walk. So my knee jerk is if someone were to tell me anything about seeing an alien or NASA discovering aliens, so I'll widen it, my knee jerk reaction would be to be very skeptical.
Yeah.
Because something deep inside of me just goes like, no, that's not the sort of thing that is true. Then again, if you actually ask me, like rationally, scientifically, are we the only things in the whole universe that like can create a civilization or have life at all? I'd be like, probably not. No, like I don't see any rational argument why that would be true. I guess my answer is like, intellectually, and I think if you asked me in high school or whatever too, I would have said the same thing. Intellectually, I think there must be, or there very well could be life on other planets. I don't know that life would ever make it to us.
Yeah.
I also am just inclined to not believe anyone who tells me anything about proof of life on other planets. So I don't know. It's like a knee-jerk thing of not... It's kind of similar to, like, if you ask me about the singularity. Like, do I believe there will come a time that AI surpasses human intelligence and becomes infinitely more powerful and makes us obsolete? My answer, if I'm thinking intellectually, is maybe. Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know why it wouldn't happen. There's probably a chance it would happen. My answer when my feelings come into play is hell no. Not gonna. I don't know why. I just feel like it ain't true.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about you? I feel like you were probably an X-Files viewer as well, which maybe tainted things even further.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the idea of aliens when I was younger. I grew up watching the X-Files. I was obsessed with like everything aliens, had printed out copies of Project Blue Book, which is like everything about it was just really interesting to me. I wasn't the kind of person who would drive out into the desert and try to like find my way into Roswell and stuff like that, or Area 51, like it wasn't a thing that I was doing, but it was just the idea really intrigued me. So I've always been obsessed with aliens and alien movies. It's fallen away now. It's like a thing that I don't really care about anymore. I still like the idea, I want to believe, but yeah, it hasn't been a thing that has really stuck with me. I was fairly traumatized when I watched Fire in the Sky.
Yeah.
As a young child. Yeah, I've always loved the idea of beings from another world visiting us, and the idea of conspiracies around their presence around us. So, this film should be catnip for me. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna find out if it is, Steven.
Yeah. I'm realizing, much like the plot of this movie too, probably another blocker, if you ask me when I was younger, is Christianity or religion. I probably would have had some added feeling of that can't be true because it blows up my worldview in some way. So that actually might be part of where that like innate feeling of nope, not real comes from.
Well, if only you had this movie, Steven, because
I know exactly. This movie could have preached it directly to me.
We'll talk about it.
Elizabeth Smart as a nun could have taught me everything that I didn't know. Elizabeth Marvel. She played someone smart in something, I feel. Anyway, ignore that. Elizabeth Smart is a different person.
Yeah, if only you knew how to actually understand that one verse that would tell you exactly what you needed to know about aliens being real.
Mm-hmm. If only. I never looked up to fact check that verse, by the way, like what translation they were using. It felt like a kind of, like the sort of thing that Aaron Sorkin would write as like the big reveal at the end of one of his movies. Yeah. It depends on what the definition of is.
All right. So should we get into this review, Steven?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Let's take a listen to the trailer for Disclosure Day and then let everybody listening know a review.
What did you steal?
Secrets. The data they paid me to protect.
Are they people?
No.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today's.
Do you understand what she's saying?
I hear her. It's gibberish. I can't understand it.
And I can.
What's happening to me?
People are starved for the truth.
I'm a part of it now. I'm just sorry that they made you a part of it too.
Hello, Jane. Please, have a seat.
This 79-year terror campaign of lies has to end.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
That truth will upend all established order across the entire world. If you do this, there's no undoing it.
Why would they do this?
When the time is right, everything will become clear.
Whatever happens, don't you let go.
That was the trailer for Disclosure Day. Basically, aliens are real. There's this group of people who have been hiding it, and there is a different group of people who are trying to disclose the fact that aliens are real to the whole world. They have stolen some stuff. They have a big old plan, a scheme to unleash all that information to the world so that everybody can find out all at once, and we can all know that aliens are real. Stephen Miller, what did you think about Disclosure Day?
I was mostly very taken with this movie. I say mostly because I'm going to say bigger than nits to pick. I have like maybe issues with the story that mostly came to me in the days after I watched it. But the truth is, while I was watching it, I was pretty captivated by what Steven Spielberg is doing here. He basically is returning to the kind of like wide-eyed wonder version of Spielberg that like I think of when I think of classic movies of his, you know, characters who are being introduced to something shocking or surprising, and movies that kind of harken to the general goodness of people, which we can talk about, things this movie assumes about the general public and what they would or wouldn't do with information. But in general, I was a fan. Like, I think Josh O'Connor is very good in this movie as Daniel Kellner, this guy he's kind of following a plan that he doesn't fully know, right? And the movie has reasons that characters don't really know what they're doing. And so, but they explain it in a way that lets the movie reveal things to you over time, and it generally not feeling too hackneyed that they're like not giving it to you all at once, because it's like the characters literally are learning as they go to. Like, what are they doing? What are they trying to accomplish? Why are they trying to accomplish it? I think Emily Blunt is like fantastic in this movie. It's probably the best I've seen her in a performance. Like, at least it's asked her to do more. Like, I'm trying to think of other possible examples.
Live,
Maybe
Die,
Edge
Repeat.
of Tomorrow. See, I used its other name. Yeah, like other than Edge of Tomorrow, I feel like this is the only one that comes close, really. Like, she kind of has to do the movie doesn't reveal a ton of it. She has to do a Herculean amount of things that could easily shift you as an audience member into fully disbelieving the whole movie. And we'll talk, I'm trying to read your expression to know whether or not like you are one of the people who struggles to believe. But I believed, I believed what this movie was putting down. I was picking it up for the most part. It is kind of, I think Midnight Special is a good comparison. I kind of wanted to even revisit Midnight Special to remember exactly how that movie goes, where this is a movie about aliens, and yet it isn't really about aliens, right? It is about the build up, the experience of knowing something is out there and hunting it. It's kind of like Twisters for like extraterrestrials,
Except
right?
for
It's
instead
about
of
the
Twisters,
chase.
it's a group of individuals trying to get them.
Yeah, it's a group of individuals driving fast through Middle America to try to get to a place at the right time, you know. And I think, like, I don't know, I found this movie totally enjoyable when I was watching it. It kind of all hinges on a big moment towards the end, you know, where it is like, here is what the truth is. Here's what we've been building towards. That I'm going to give it like 3 out of 5 in terms of working on me. Like, the moment doesn't fully deliver for me. It has a level of like wide-eyed optimism and sentimentality that I think like it wanted to hit my heartstrings a little harder than it actually did. But I left still feeling like, wow, Spielberg knows how to make a damn solid movie, and he made a damn solid throwback movie that's like a little bit E.T., a lot of bit Close Encounters, a lot of bit like Minority Report. Like, he's melding all of these things that are generally like his better half of his movies rather than his lesser movies, you know? And I was here for it for the most part. It also has more humor than I expected. Like, it's pretty funny at times, especially there's a character played by Wyatt Russell named Jackson, who is like the boyfriend of Emily Blunt that gets a lot of kind of like the comic beats in this movie. But there's also like Josh O'Connor's character is in a relationship too, and there are at least a few times where they're arguing where like it takes time to have some levity. Like, Spielberg talks about sex, which is not a thing he actually ever does in his movies. You know, I don't know. This movie is like a little bit more poking fun at the way people are while also aiming to be self-serious. And for the most part, it worked on me. We're not getting into the plot yet. When we do, a lot of elaborate Nathan Fielder type things maybe don't fully need to exist, and I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze, but the feelings were in the right place. How did you feel about Disclosure, Dave?
Full disclosure,
Mm-hmm.
I think this film is a hot mess.
Woo, okay. Okay.
So here's the thing. Any given individual moment in this film is on the verge of brilliance. I think there are a lot of great ideas in this film. I think the whole entire work as a cohesive work is not cohesive at all. I think that this film, should have been set back in time. This film makes not a goddamn lick of sense in a world where there is internet, people have cell phones. When we see any footage of stuff that they want to disclose, this is stuff that you cannot hide. At the end of the trailer that we watched here, it's fucking a scene from Independence Day. A giant saucer ship coming through clouds that you could not obscure from modern daytime. And yes, that could be one of the things that was any time between now and 1947. You know, like you could just make that argument. But the footage we see in the trailer is not shot as though it's something that was captured in 1947. It's shot as though it was captured today, right? You know, so like this film does not understand the context of a world in which anybody can look up into the sky, witness marvels, and immediately post it online and show stuff. It doesn't exist in a world where the government just said like UAPs are a thing. Here's all the fucking video. We don't know what this shit is. Let's just have a bunch of like sessions with the government where people say, I don't know what the fuck this is. And nobody gave a shit. Everybody was just making jokes about it. You know, like their big scheme in this is to give footage to news outlets to let them post it on their servers because that's the only way people will believe it. This film doesn't exist in a world where AI is a thing, and they just assume.
They analyzed for ground truth pixels.
Oh yeah, ground truth pixels. That's right. Which you can just you can analyze in real time while it's being broadcast over your news station.
Yeah, that is obviously one of the things as a tech person that defied belief, but I was willing to allow it to exist for the sake of the movie.
So like all that stuff is like. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just put that out of my head. Like if I can lay in and I can believe it and I can just kind of put that aside, this film is still full of things that don't sort of match together. Individual moments are great. Like there is a thing. Emily Blunt's character went through something when she was a child. She's blocked it out. She won't return to it. Her boyfriend, Wyatt Russell, knows something happened to her. He doesn't know about it. Apparently, nobody in her entire life has explained what happened to her as a child or even what they think happened to her, because clearly somebody in her family has to know something happened. Like, nobody has even explained the situation from their vantage point, right? Let alone her blocking out a situation, right? It's not like she was in a house where there was a triple murder and then like she's blocked out that occurrence, right? She has just went through something, right? The reveal of it emotionally works. The reveal of it in the context of this story is brilliant. The context that nobody has fucking said like, hey, there was just one day where like there's no, and I'll probably bleep out that, but like there's the fact that she doesn't even have that, and nobody in her however many years she's been alive on this earth has ever had a conversation without her about it, and she can't even talk about that as a thing.
Yeah,
feels like we've obscured that just for the sake of the reveal to the audience and not to the story. There is a thing that characters can do using a device in this story, which is amazing. It's awesome. It's rad as hell. The way they shoot it is awesome. The way it happens is awesome. I love it. Everything about it is cool. There's a point in this story where people need to split up and escape. They give the device that bad guys want to the one person this thing can happen to. And the bad guys don't even think to use that ability to find the device. Like the story forgets its own rules in a way that just is convenient for the story, right? Like there's so much stuff in this where it's like, there are just moments that are, I don't know. I just constantly was watching this film going like, if I take this scene by itself and I think about just this scene, I love this. If I think about it in any other context, I go, what the fuck am I watching right now? This makes no sense. As like a mini short film that lasts like 2 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I feel something right now because the music is swelling and I like the performances that people are giving, but this makes not a goddamn lick of sense. And I walked out of the theater. What I felt was like manipulated. It was like I was empty and emotional at the same time.
Right.
And I can't rationalize those feelings.
Yeah. I hear you. I get it. For some reason, a lot of those nonsensical elements just didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just that my bar for a Spielberg movie is that I'm not expecting it to be like this intricate, perfectly thought out sci-fi vision of what is to. I know you're not criticizing just the sci-fi, but I just mean like the bar we hold like a hard sci-fi to, of like, wow, you have thought through every ramification of this. It's just not what I come to Spielberg for.
But
you know,
like I'll give you one more, and then I promise I'll stop complaining about things. Right? There's a shot in the trailer where Josh O'Connor standing in the middle of a field and crop circles appear underneath him. Right? Yeah. Nothing in the story, as presented to us, makes sense. Like, I understand conceptually why it's why it makes sense for the character emotionally for crop circles to appear there. There's no reason.
I don't know if they really did, is my answer, or if it's just a flourish of what is like dawning on him in that moment.
He's emotionally feeling that crop circles exist.
Yeah, well, because I don't think that is never commented upon. There are no ripple effects for it. I did not. It isn't even how crop circles work, right?
Yeah, no, that's my point.
It isn't how I read it. This is a filmmaking flourish. This is not a thing happening in the real world.
To me, it felt like they got into a room and they're like, all right, alien movie, right? What do we need? We need saucers, crop circles, gray or green men. We can pick one. Right. And they just started doing government agency conspiracies, shadowy figures, somebody trying to reveal the truth. All right, okay. A hero. No, two heroes. One man, one woman. One has to be religious. Probably the female character. She's got to be like, she has to have some kind of faith background. But also she has to be like a scientist of some like mm-hmm. It's just so, like it's just like, I don't know. It felt like it was just like, let me put all the things that we know should be in this type of film together, and then we'll reverse engineer. Like, we start with the idea of, what if we taught the whole world that aliens exist? Mm-hmm. Reverse engineer all the other things that we need, but really just aliens. They can tell everybody they exist by just every other alien movie. The aliens convince the world they exist by just showing up. Mm-hmm. Independence Day, aliens show up. Arrival, it's in the title. They arrive.
Yep.
I don't know what we're doing here, Steven.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I guess the biggest, and we probably need to go into spoilers to talk about some of this, because again, I said a lot of it lives or dies on how you feel about the ending that it's been building towards, and that includes the mechanics of what does it take to convince people versus what wouldn't work for convincing people. Yeah. I feel like emotionally the movie works. And by the time I'm at the end and I'm thinking about how it all comes together, I'm in the realm of Steven Spielberg has a statement for the audience. And I'm not as much in the realm of like, does this all fit? But that's also why I think I mentioned like the experience of watching it. I felt very positive, and yet in the days that followed, I started to feel the cracks, right? Yeah. Like when I look back on the story, I'm like, okay, there's some strain happening over there, And
emotionally, it did genuinely work for me. Like, in the ending of this film, like, I am like, I don't know why I'm feeling what I'm feeling right now, because my brain is telling me stop feeling it, but I did feel it. Like I'm like, this is working on me. There's a part of my Chris brain that's going like, are you falling for this shit?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my Chris brain just wasn't that loud. Though again, I'm not meaning to imply that I loved this movie. Like I think not to jump into ratings, but like I think on Letterboxd I gave it like 3.5 out of 5. You know, I'm like, yeah, with a heart, because I'm like, yeah, you pulled off a thing. I definitely have issues.
Yeah.
But like it is still rare to be in the hands of a filmmaker that can just like shoot something so well. Like this movie, I think nails it's a thing you say a lot, like moment to moment. If you're just charting like what is it doing from here to here, it's like awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like he really crushes it, and it's only when you zoom out that you start to have problems. And I think I just have a little more tolerance for the like zooming out and revealing the metaphorical crop circle. Like maybe what it reveals doesn't need to make a whole lot of sense as long as like the close-ups all worked, right? And for me, the close-ups mostly worked.
Yeah. I do have one question that is just, I just want to make sure that like I just didn't miss it. So one of the things that I do like before we record is I'll like go on like Wikipedia and I'll just pull up the synopsis real fast just to like refresh myself on like the beat to beat so that I can like have it fresh in my head. And like the description, whoever put in the plot synopsis on Wikipedia started with this sentence: "As the world stands poised on the brink of World War III." Is that how this movie started?
It does not bother going into detail, but it's definitely there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it just like shots of headlines and newspapers or something? Because like
it's the content of what the news people are discussing. It's the reason a certain character speaks Korean. There are things, I don't think Spielberg hammers it. For someone who is very heavy-handed usually, I don't think he hammers it as heavily as he should have. But I do believe it was there. Like I at least was clocking that this is what the movie is trying to tell us is happening.
Okay. So I mean, like, I just assume, given the world we live in today with like the normal conflict we have constantly, I just didn't seem out of the norm. It didn't seem like World War III level of like geopolitics. Fair. It just seemed like normal war stuff. But yeah, I guess the idea of okay. Yeah, I guess we'll talk in spoilers.
Yeah, I think we should talk in spoilers. That's where most of it lives. I'm trying to think of what like non-spoilery things I can say about this movie. Colin Firth as a Bond villain, interesting. I think it is mostly successful, and yet he's given some of the dumbest things to do just by virtue of some of like the failures of the script that we're probably going to talk about, or the way the world building breaks down. But I enjoyed him. I don't know if I've seen him in this specific like mode before, you know, kind of like hammy villain mode. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. Coleman Domingo, I'm going to say he's good in the sense that he's good in everything, but his character also has to do like he's a vessel for a concept that is a little bit hard to explain, and so he kind of just has to be unreadable.
Wait, I thought the other two characters were the vessels.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're nuclear vessels. Yeah, I think everyone is good here, basically. I like Eve Hewson. I don't know if I've seen her in anything before. She plays Jane, Josh O'Connor's girlfriend. She is also known as Bono's daughter.
Flora and Son?
Oh my God, she's in Flora and Son, of course. The movie
we just finished an episode.
Second episode in a row where I tell you that I totally forgot about Flora and Son. I have completely blanked it from my mind.
Good times.
Anyway,
good times.
She's good. I like her here. The movie also, there's some heavy-handedness in more classic Spielberg fashion around faith versus reason, or faith and what threatens faith, or whatever. And I generally think this movie handled it pretty okay. It works for the emotional beats that Spielberg is trying to hit. I didn't feel like it was overly preachy in any direction. Like it didn't it didn't make me tune out of the movie. I thought it was like, okay, Spielberg is wrestling with the thing. I think he's handling it pretty well. He's maybe overly optimistic about the world and about the religious side of the world in terms of how people think about things.
I did in my head think, which book does that verse come out of?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with the movie is my short answer.
Yeah.
It wasn't the hole-in-one event of the summer that I was kind of hoping it would be, but it is one of the more well-crafted movies I've seen this year, I think. It's just, I agree with you. It's kind of a shame that it doesn't add up to something that blows your mind.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just like very well-crafted and then doesn't 100% gel together.
Yeah. All right, so should we do verdicts and then spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Stephen Miller, if you were going to give this a recommend with a caveat, wait for if you were going to give this a must-see, recommend with a caveat, wait for rental, pass with the caveat, or a must-avoid, what would you give it?
I'm giving it a recommend with a caveat. I think this is a well-made movie. I think it is emotionally resonant. I think the cast does a fantastic job with what they're asked to do, and in particular, Josh O'Connor, I think, continues to just be having this like killer star run kind of out of nowhere. I was playing one of those movie games a couple days ago, and his name came up, and I realized like prior to 2023, I couldn't really name any movies he was in. I since cheated and like now know bit parts he had in things, but he really has come from like just being on The Crown to being like one of the more compelling stars of his generation, and I think he continues to be that here. And Emily Blunt, I think, is really, really, really great. And this movie kind of uses some of her more... I don't mean this as a criticism. There's a sort of detached quality about her that I think is really good in this movie. It's like well used for the character she has to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. There's something where like the things that make me not always relate to her in movies made me like really, really, really enjoy her performance here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Solid movie. Caveat being, it doesn't always cohere. This is certainly not like an Inception type movie where you're going to look back and be like, whoa, think about all of the things and how they connect and what that means for the world. Like, no, this is a movie that is building to an emotional climax, and I think emotionally the climax works.
Yeah, for me it's a wait for rental. For me, the film felt very reverse engineered and trying to tick off the boxes of all the previous Alien things that are out there and previous Spielberg stuff. So I was fairly disappointed with this film, but some of the moment-to-moment beats had me feeling what Steven was feeling during the watching, but as soon as the scenes passed, it made me feel like, but how, what? So yeah. I was already feeling it. It didn't take me leaving the theater to feel it. I was feeling it in the moment. So sadly, that's where I am at with this film. But yeah, so in a moment, we're going to transition into spoilers, and we're going to fully disclose a bunch of those spoilers. But for now, Steven, why don't you say goodbye to some of the folks who don't want to stick around for spoilers yet, and let them know where they can find you throughout the week.
Yeah, people can find me at Blue Sky at sdavidmiller or sdavidmiller.com.
People can find me at ChristopherInRealLife.com or ChristopherIRL on a number of social platforms. You can find the podcast over at thespoilerwarning.com where you get a bunch of the back episodes of the show. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so on Overcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are found. If you want to know when the episodes go live, you can follow us at twitter.com/spoilerwarning, facebook.com/thespoilerwarning, or instagram.com/thespoilerwarning. If you want to get a hold of us directly, you can send an email to fans@thespoilerwarning.com, or you can use the contact form on our site. Music for this episode will come from a track selected from artlist.io, so hopefully you're enjoying that. That music is playing now. That music is going to fade up, and when that music fades down, we will be hanging out in a secret, non-disclosed government bunker, playing with some Alien spoilers. So
we sure
see
will.
You in a bit. All right, right, we are back. It's spoiler territory. It's the after part of a review of Disclosure Day. We are talking full-blown spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film yet, maybe go see it with caveats abound. Or you can just listen and hear what we have to say. Steven, if I can piggyback off my question to you about the World War III thing.
Sure.
The reason why I ask, and again, for me, it just felt like the world's always at war. I didn't realize it was a full World War III level war that was going on. But like the evil corporate organization that has been like hiding the existence of aliens, and like they've literally been like experimenting on aliens, right? And torturing them and stealing their technology and like hoarding it for themselves and doing what is inherently evil corporate shit, right?
Yeah.
So there's already a reason to want to disclose them being bad, right? Because aliens could theoretically just want to be like, hey, they're hurting us. Don't let them hurt us anymore. But like the actual Disclosure Day is just a day the Earth stood still situation where they're like, hey, don't nuke your planet. If you knew aliens existed, you would all have empathy for each other and believe in a higher power. So
I think it's a little different, but the movie kind of does a cop-out, though it works for me, which is ending on the word listen rather than ending on the actual message, you know?
Yeah.
I think the aliens are not just saying empathy is good. The aliens are like Arrival style, being like, we have learned significantly higher forms of empathy, and we know how to imbue that in people. We know how to teach it, how to make it happen. Come receive this gift.
Yeah.
You know? I think it's more than just, aliens exist, therefore be nice to each other. It's like, we discovered the thing, the language. If you experience this language, like, you would be in a higher place. But
they could also just brute force it by just abducting people one by one and giving them all the gift, right?
Yeah. Sure.
But I was being a little facetious with the way I was saying it. But I mean, it seems like it's really just like they seemingly don't care about the fact that they're being tortured and their gadgets are being stolen by this company. They theoretically could have like blown the shit out of all that company over the last 70 years if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
They've just been waiting till now, which makes me think it literally is just the day they stood still, that like they're like, oh guys, we've been laying in wait hoping the humans would figure it out and be nice to each other, but now they're about to literally blow the shit out of each other, so now we have to go share our stuff with them.
Yeah.
Which to me just feels like, couldn't they have just appeared anyways and still accomplished the same goal? Like, I mean, why do they need to wake up these two individuals and say like, hey, now's your time?
So, well, this is the difference between, does proving aliens exist create world peace, or is it hearing what they have to say that creates world peace? Because, and again, this is tacked on kind of late. It's underlined, and so I have not thought through the ramifications. I don't think the movie does a great job of building it. Is they have two components here. They have Josh O'Connor, who is like uniquely able to hear and understand them. And then you have Emily Blunt, who is able to convey to other people in a unique way. And so the idea is this is our translator that will create this moment of universal empathy.
So they could have sent the little bird to Emily Blunt at any time, but Coleman Domingo had to watch the rehearsal to figure out how to wake Emily Blunt
jog
up.
It in her. Because you could also argue that their technique only works like the simple direct version, like an animal appearing, only works on children because they're not corrupted yet. They're still innocent.
Yeah.
They're still open to new things, right? So it's like it had to happen to them. And now as adults, they are uniquely primed to be the amplifier to like connect these alien beings to the child inside of everyone, which is like what Emily Blunt has been doing with all of her other things for the last couple of days, is like tapping into the person's like deepest innermost feelings.
So can I I'm gonna slowly work my way towards it, and you're gonna catch on way before I get there, but I'm still gonna say it slowly, right?
Yep.
So one of the arguments for the existence of aliens, whether you're taking this film's version from the religious standpoint or just from the secular standpoint, is how in all the vast infinite expanse of the universe, whether it's creation by God or just the existence of a universe that expanded from nothingness on its own, how can we possibly think we're the only ones, right? Just because there's so much, life could have expanded anywhere, right? If we take that same principle and we transpose it to these aliens trying to teach a human race with so many billions of people on this planet, why would they choose 2 children as the only keepers of this ability to take 40 years to be able to teach the human race to be able to understand their language and hopefully learn to have empathy and a better... Why would they not abduct a ton of children? And we know that they didn't, because Coleman Domingo constantly says, there have always been only 2. The entire movie repeatedly says those lines. Why would the aliens not seed multiple pairs of children so that there would be more chances for them to wake up over time?
Of course. Yeah. The perfectly good question. No good answer, except that emotionally it just feels more high stakes to make there be 2 special people who must come together in order to make it happen. That's it's the only real answer. It just is. And then it ties back to E.T., you know, what the childlike wonder of decades ago and how that culminates in something, right?
Steven, again, we're watching the U.S. version of this film. Every superpower has their 2 kids that were abducted in their superpower country.
God, the Vatican City version of this movie would be so boring, but I guess they get stopped by religious people, even though they only have to walk like a block.
But yeah, I just answered my own question though. They seeded everybody got the same pairing.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, the plan from the aliens' perspective doesn't make sense. To me, that is so many movies where it's like you rest the power in one rather than divvying it up because it's more dramatically interesting if the power is only in like 1 or 2 people. There's no other good answer for it.
Yeah. But it's just funny with the context of like thinking of like, how could humans be the only ones? And then it's like you're making the argument that there has to be more in the same world in which you're saying that like there can only be 2.
Sure. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. It's kind of the classic Star Wars problem too of like, are people special? Yes or no?
Well, Star Wars people don't agree on whether
for
or
sure.
not there.
Yeah. Which kind of leads me to wanting to talk just a little bit about the device, you know? Which is an element of the movie that probably doesn't need to be there, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel you could get basically the whole movie and just cut all of that. And yet it does create some of the more interesting scenes for me. In a sense, the device for people who, for whatever reason, haven't watched the movie and are just like listening to this now, is something that when a character wields it, at least the limited use of the device that Colin Firth knows about is you wield it and you look at a picture of someone or think about someone and you can enter their mind to a degree, like represented as you are sitting and talking with them and they're talking back. Very Inception in a sense, very legitimacy, it was called in Harry Potter, right? When Voldemort is trying to do it. The idea of like being able to access someone's mind and people being able to train themselves to be more resistant to that access, but it's still being a powerful tool.
Well, it's double too, right? It's astral projection and warging. It's like both simultaneously and separately because they use it kind of interchangeably.
You're right. I mean, the visual language of it is a little bit like warging and astral projecting, which is I am moving and they're doing the same motion that I'm doing, and also I'm sitting at the table talking to them. Whatever the logic behind that, I did enjoy it with, like, specifically for the character of Jane, when Colin Firth is astral projecting to her and trying to make her turn on Josh O'Connor. I thought that led to some cool scenes. I like thinking about what do you do when you know this is a risk vector? You know, how do you limit exposure? So anyone, even who can be like warged into, can't reveal anything. Clearly, it didn't work well in this case. But
the answer is they do fuck all.
Yeah, they do fuck all. But I don't know. I like the use of it. Now, when I put my screenplay critic hat on, feels like one too many things, you know?
Yeah.
You already have there are aliens. You have this character with this unique empathy ability. Maybe we don't also need like a physical thing that also lets you do that. It kind of feels unnecessary.
Well, they have to limit it in some way, right? They have to make it so that thing can potentially be destroyed or eliminated. Like they're trying to limit the power. So it's like it's actually a good. There is a thing that theoretically is unbounded superpower that like it makes them unstoppable, but by making it dangerous, it hurts you to do it, and you could potentially have that taken from you. It like limits the power. So I actually like that it puts limits on what it can do. But I guess you're saying that even having the warging ability at all is something
I think
that
you don't need it. I'm okay. Like, I think it leads to some of the cooler moments in the movie, so I'm happy for it to be there. But when I think about, like, what is this movie trying to do?
Well,
I think you could have all of this having them just be, like, a super NSA, CIA type group that has access everywhere without having this extra, like, device that creates limited godlike powers.
Yeah, they're basically just trying to do Battlestar Galactica, right? Like the group jumps somewhere nondescript, and then moments later they use the warging ability to find out where they are, and then they appear as well, and then they have to jump again.
Yeah, which it works like it works dramatically for the movie. I thought it was a little silly, and I was hoping there was going to be something of like, and here's how the device actually works, because there's like. There's a thing that Hugo Coleman Domingo says, which is like, you, Colin Firth, only have scratched the surface of what that device is capable of. And I don't actually feel like I was taught later in the movie what else it's capable of that is less cool than warging. Like, it can also manipulate electricity, and we already knew it can make you invisible.
Apparently,
like, we knew that because Colin Firth could do it too.
It can apparently self-Avada Kedavra as well. Because that one guy finds that out pretty sadly. Here's the one thing is like I think for me that was the use of that device was one of my favorite things. But here's the thing that almost kind of ruined it for me is so like when they use it, right? Like Colin Firth, and I don't know if it's just when he's using it or if it's normally, he has like the blue eyes, right? And Jane has brown eyes. And, like, you know when she's possessed or not because she has the blue eyes or the brown eyes, right? Later on, when they're walking on the street and the fire truck comes up and they're like, oh, shit, fire truck people are going to get us. And they're like, no, it's our friends. They're like, wait, we got to make sure you're not currently being warged. Let me pull out this device that looks at your eyes. Motherfucker, we can see the eyes with our eyes. We don't need a device that does it. And then the marketing for this film is like a planet with an eye in it, and I'm like, are you really making the eyes that important?
I didn't know that was the marketing of this movie. I totally didn't clock it.
Oh my god, it so annoys me.
I feel like if there's an eye, I would sooner imagine it as like opening your third eye or whatever, unless like that thing. But I mean, I can argue for the scanner because you know their eyes are a different color, but I don't know. I know it's rendered as bright blue, so you're right. You would know that right away by looking at a person.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't always happen, though. Like, I feel like it doesn't always become that pronounced or that visual. I would have to watch it again and see, like, all the time that she's even remotely possessed is it happening.
I'm not sure. But also, they do scan him, and we see when he's a child, the knowledge gets put into your retina. So when they scanned him, they should have seen something in his eyes with that scanner, because that's where his, like, ability to understand math got implanted, right? So in theory, there's a scanner. The scanner should see something in his retina because that's where he got the knowledge.
Theoretically. We don't know what the scanner does.
All right. One more silly thing where there's like a disconnect between the script writing and like the visuals of this movie. In the scene where they're making the whole house invisible, right? Before they go into the building, right? The bad guys, they hold up like an iPad, right? And they're like, there's like 25 heat signatures in there. And they go inside, they open the door, and there's nothing in there, right?
Yep.
And then Emily Blunt's holding the thing, the alien Blunt, and then she's like in there. And then they look and they see nothing, and they're like, that's weird. And they hold up the thing, and they're showing a bunch of bodies because it's heat signatures, just a bunch of outlines of people in heat signatures. And Emily Blunt goes, they can't see us, but they can see this. And I'm like, and then they react as though they don't know there's a bunch of people standing there invisible, even though they're holding an iPad that shows all 25 of them standing there. And they know they're invisible because they're looking at the outline of a bunch of people in heat. Like, I just, why is everybody confused when they start running into invisible walls? Like, I just, Steven, boggles.
I know. They're not thinking. But that, I mean, I still thought the visual was funny. That's my only defense.
The visual is funny. It's hilarious. But also, like, it just makes me so mad.
I mean, they know things are invisible, but that doesn't mean they know there are walls all over the place. Like, they're kind of like us. They're like, wait, why the fuck is there a house in here? What's going on?
Yeah.
Or an invisible fire truck. Because up until now, they've only seen the device make a person invisible. They haven't seen it cast a wider. But then again, why does Emily Blunt have a unique ability to make the device make more people invisible? That has nothing to do with empathy. I don't even know why it makes people invisible. That emotionally, that doesn't connect at all with the power that we're talking about. So same with managing electricity. Also doesn't connect at all. So in general, this is all part of why I feel like the device is like, it's not a MacGuffin because it does things, but it's just this like weird addition that I feel like is more convoluted than it has to be.
Yeah. I don't get it all. It's,
I guess the only last thing I want to say is the emotional impact of the ending, because okay, the ending hinges on this very kind of outdated belief that if everyone were watching something at the same time, they would come together. They would believe it. It would change their mind. It would do something. And we all live in now times, so we know that that's not true. You know, we know that in reality, if a broadcast like this happened, at least half of it, well, first of all, most of America wouldn't be watching it, right?
Yeah, but, I wouldn't know it's happening.
But
we'd be recording this podcast right now.
Exactly. But at least half, I mean, maybe little Amber Alert type things would come up on our phone and tell us like, oh, whoa, crazy shit is happening right now. Click this button and watch. But we also know that even if people did watch it, that people would find all sorts of reasons to not believe it, right? Not
Amber
only
Alert
would it
goes
be
off that says aliens are real.
Yeah. Like not only would people be like, you know, it's AI or it's not AI, but it's faked in some way. That footage there's context we don't know about. There would also probably be people who like, yeah, I don't care. I'm glad we tortured them. They're creepy. I don't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah.
So that is all very quaint. But I think the way it is sold, and it's sold by way of a more like, I think probably a New York news anchor, like a more syndicated network anchor delivering the news as she's realizing it in real time. I think she sells it 100%. And I think emotionally, I'm like, wow, this is really making me feel something. And it's making me feel something, this idea of everyone realizing at the same time that the universe is much more complicated than they knew. And maybe we can all be kind of like stunned children who remember that there are things that can still surprise us and wow us. And for me, that emotionally crushed it. Even if the brain part of me, when I latched on later, am like, ground truth pixels verified. Come on. What are we talking about?
100%. Watching the news anchor try to figure out the words to say as she is trying to understand what she's watching and just be at a loss for words, 100% worked it on me. Like, I felt exactly what the film wanted me to feel. And that, like, I had no problem with that at all. Like, that made me feel, even though I was like, if this was happening in real life, I don't think this would be the reaction. I was like, I am in this in the moment. I am feeling this. I believe this to be authentic right now. So I can't fault the film for that at all. Like, I really, really like the way it handled that part of it.
Yep. Glad we agree.
Yep. So I apologize.
Thank you for your apology. Must see. Yeah, I mean, we're not even really disagreeing. This is the age-old thing in the podcast. We both agree that the plot kind of doesn't work and that details don't really work. And I just sometimes have a higher tolerance if the emotions still land in the end. Yeah. In this case, emotionally, it landed.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. With
I think
that, we get to go, and I get to figure out how I'm getting to Scotland tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.